This is Second Wind with K.R. Henderson. You're not late, you're assigned. I had a signed post on my social media page some years back, and it says, if a man says he'll fix it, he'll fix it. There's no need to remind him every 3 months. Funny thing is, most of us don't just procrastinate on fixing things around the house, do we, fellas? We procrastinate on the things that matter most. So today isn't about time. It's about awareness. Awareness that one day, every I'll do it later becomes I wish I had. A few years ago, I attended the funeral of a good friend of mine. When I arrived, the casket was already closed. His picture rested beside it. As I walked toward it for the very last time, one thought crossed my mind. I guess they can't open it anymore. My man is gone. Now, that wasn't just a thought. That was a lifetime of memories ending in one moment. Well, maybe it was a lifetime of memories ending in several moments, because I took a lot of cookies from that man's house when he was at work. But nevertheless, driving home, I couldn't stop thinking, not simply because he was gone, but because I never got one last conversation, one last thank you, one last laugh. One last chance to talk about sports, or just to hear him say, just watch the game, son. So on the drive home, something hit me. I started thinking one of the greatest costs of living a long life is outliving people who help make you who you are. We celebrate longevity, right? I can recall Dr. King's speech saying, I'd like to live a long time like anyone else. But we rarely talk about the loneliness or its loneliness. I'd already watched him bury his wife. Now I was watching people bury him. And brothers, that's a level of loneliness and some of us never think about until, quite frankly, someone introduces us to it, like life. But it did make me ask a question. Have you ever noticed how your opinion of your father changes as your life changes? When you're small, when you're little, dad knows everything. As a teenager, he doesn't understand pretty much nothing. He don't understand anything. And in your 20s, you get convinced you're going to live your life differently from the way he did. Then one day you pick up the phone and ask him for advice. Later you begin to wonder how he paid bills, carried a family, became disappointed. Even buried people he loved and still showed up every day. Abruptly you realize something that changes everything. Your dad didn't become wiser. It was you who became humble enough to recognize the wisdom that had been there all along. The older I get, the more I realize something. And it's funny, I'm not just learning about my dad. I'm beginning to understand him. Because in many ways, I'm becoming the man that he had to become, not because I'm trying to copy him. I always say there's nothing worse than a cheap copy of a great original. But because life has introduced me to some of the same responsibilities, some of the same pressures, the same sacrifices that shaped him. And fellas, this is where second wind begins. Your second wind doesn't begin because you got older. It begins when you become teachable again. Second half of life isn't about proving how much you know. It's about showing how much you still need to learn. And lately, that's exactly what's been happening to me. Many of you know I've been researching my family's history. At first, I thought I was looking for names, right? I thought I was going to develop a family tree. I was wrong. I wasn't looking for names. I was looking for me. I wanted to know where my grandfather came from. I know mom and dad were from Louisiana, but I found out my my grandfather, well, great grandfather and great grandmother was great grandfather was from Alabama, great grandmother was from Georgia. I didn't realize I had any connection to those states until just the other day. I wanted to know his mother, my dad's mom, maiden name, my mother's maiden name. I wanted to know why my family ended up in LeCompte, Louisiana, and Chickamauga, Louisiana. Then I discovered Chickamauga traces back to the Choctaw Indians. I mean, I learned that Louisiana Creole and French didn't simply disappear. I thought they just stopped speaking it. Many children were punished in school. This was law passed down for speaking broken French. So they forced them to speak English as the accepted language. I mean, when I tell you we mix right up, think about that. A language, a culture, a family story, and identity can disappear in a single generation and nobody tells. And fellas, we inherit more than just eye color and facial features. We inherit certain tendencies, certain strengths and weaknesses. And here's what I've learned. DNA gives us a starting point, but it doesn't determine our destination. It gives us direction. I've learned that firsthand as an adopted father. I honestly thought proximity would be enough if he was just around. I mean, if he, I'm thinking in my mind, if he was around me, he just automatically become like me. I found out pretty quickly it doesn't work that way. I thought living in my house would be enough. Now I know an address doesn't raise a child. I'm thinking character is like Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. Hey, if you get close enough, it'll automatically connect. Turns out character doesn't download automatically. Presence matters, of course. We know that. But not just presence, intentional teaching matters even more. Values have to be explained. Character has to be modeled. Wisdom has to be passed on. Legacy doesn't transfer by osmosis. This is why this matters, because every man inherits something. The question is, what do you intentionally pass it on? I've spent a few hours now researching where my family came from. And I'm seeing even to now, I just don't think they should have to wait until I'm gone to discover who I was. We spend an enormous amount of time talking about leaving money. And money matters. I think it's right up there with oxygen. But money isn't the only inheritance. Your values, your faith, your stories, your family history matters. It's an inheritance. Your children will inherit some things through DNA. I give you that. But they'll learn far more from your daily demonstration. If you don't tell your children where they came from, I guarantee you, I promise you, someone else will tell them who they are, and we're experiencing that right now. If you don't tell them, I mean, if you don't tell your children where they came from, we're going to have a problem. This is why I'm asking questions now, because every funeral doesn't just bury a person. Does that make sense? There's some things that get buried at that funeral, like old photographs, recipes, family stories. I mean, origin of your last name, my last name. And sometimes it bears answers that no website will be able to give. Once that generation is gone, AI, Google, chat, none of that. I mean, I called earlier this week about my grandmother's. I mean, my grandmother's mother's maiden name and my grandfather's maiden name. I mean, there was only one person left who could tell me. Think about that. Some answers are gone forever. And gentlemen, I don't want that to create panic, but it should create urgency. I mean, urgency to repair some of these broken relationships. Urgency to ask your father, if you still have him, the questions that maybe you've been putting off. I mean, urgency now to learn your family history before no one is left to tell it. You know what else? I mean, since we're talking about urgency to bring I love you. Urgency to become the man that your children need while they're still able to pay attention to you. Because don't wait until a eulogy is said. What belongs in the conversation. I mean, many of us are living in what I like to think of as one of three seasons. Some of you still have the blessing of picking up your phone and calling your dad and hearing his voice. Some of you have already buried your dad. And some of you are becoming the father that your own children one day will remember. And let me just say this. If your father is still here, man, honor him. Call him. Listen more than you talk. Ask him about his failures, not just his successes. Thank him for sacrificing. Because trust me, he sacrificed it when you were too young to appreciate. If your father is gone, honor him by becoming the man that he hoped you would become. And if you're raising children, remember, one day your children will tell stories about you. They're already writing them. I mean, what stories are you and I giving them to tell? My good man, listen to me. I want you to keep this top of mind. Every man inherits two things: legacy and the responsibility to pass it down. You remember how we started? If a man says he'll fix it, he'll fix it. The truth is, life doesn't always give us 3 months sometimes. It doesn't give us tomorrow sometimes. Sometimes you get the call right now, and you don't have a choice but to answer. But ask the question now while you still do have time. Tell the story now. Again, say I love you. Become the man your children deserve while they're still watching. Don't let I'll do it later become I wish I had. One last thing. If you're serious about becoming the man that God created you to be, please visit my website, krnewvision.net. This is where you'll find the ABCs of Second Wind and the Whoa, Work Harder on Yourself resources and other tools to help you become the man or keep growing into the man long after this episode ends that God intended you to be. Remember, you're not late, you're a sign.